Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Nope.
Amanda, how does it sound?
It's fine.
Just fine.
All right.
Yep.
Are we ready to get the show on the road?
Yes,
I suppose.
Whoa.
All right. Where's the intro music? Oh, that's not it.
Amanda, I thought you were working on an intro for us.
Okay, well, all of it's bad.
Welcome to the Raining Cats and Dogs podcast. I'm your host, Shannon, along with Arianna. And we have a guest co-host, Amanda. And today we're going to do something different. So if you're new here, I'm sorry. Generally,
Well, if they're new here, they don't know what's different.
Sorry to the regular listeners.
Yeah.
Sorry to the people that just come here for the Reddit stories.
Yeah.
There will be no Reddit stories today. We're going to be talking about our trip we went on.
Yes. Thank you for stealing the intro.
It seemed like it's going to take you a while to get
Well, I
there.
was going to say something, but you were
I was
interrupting.
like, go ahead.
Never mind now. Forget it. The podcast is over. No,
The
just
end.
kidding.
Everyone be kind. Move
So,
on.
yeah, if you're a regular here, we normally just chit-chat, and then we go for Reddit stories. And then, like Ari said, we will be discussing our trip. So we were gone for 2 weeks. And Ari, do you want to start with, since I caused some trauma, so we flew from Buffalo to
Yes.
Munich, from
So
Munich
first-
to, hold on,
Okay.
from Munich to Basel, Switzerland.
Yes, if I wanted to start.
So then let's start.
So we start off. Our plane gets delayed an hour. And then Mother decides she needs to vacuum and clean her room as we're supposed to be leaving.
Wait,
We
I
had
was
the
here
hour.
then.
Yes,
and
you were.
she had no pants on.
I had I had shorts. Let's
No.
be clear. I had
Yes.
shorts.
She had shorts on.
Yes, but that's not plain attire. Needs the pants. Anyways, I put away the vacuum and she was annoyed because she wanted to vacuum even though we had no time.
We had plenty of time.
You did have plenty
So
of
we
time.
get to the airport. I have a hoodie on. And then they're like, do you have a shirt underneath? I said, no. And then the girl in front of me also had a hoodie on. She's like, well, I kind of have a tank top. And she was very uncomfortable taking it off and seemed uncomfortable. Goes through. So then I go through and they're like, can you take your hoodie off? And I'm like, no, I can't. So I do the whole thing. And then I have to be patted down by a woman. And she's like, do you want to go in another room? I'm like, no, it's fine. Then as she's patting me down, the guy was like, you shouldn't really wear hoodies when you travel. And then the woman patting me down said that it's okay, you can wear whatever you want to travel.
Right.
Yeah, so they do pat down people with hoodies. That's
Yep.
what I've noticed in airports.
Yep.
Gosh.
And then we finally get to our gate, and she's, a germaphobe. She gives me an airborne tablet. She's like, chew this. It'll help you. I'm like, and it was kind of big, so I was like, are you sure I'm supposed to chew this?
Okay, just to be clear, I did buy chewables, okay? But I did not grab her the chewable airborne.
So I put it in my mouth, and she was like, you gotta chew it and let it sit in your mouth. And then it starts fizzing and burning. Because it's like, I'm like, this has got an orange flavor, and it's like bubbling in my mouth. Turns out it was one that's supposed to go in water that fizzes. So I spit it out because I'm like foaming at the mouth at this
Right.
point. Yeah,
That was so
that's how
fun.
our trip started.
Yes.
That's lovely.
So then I went to Washington. No hiccups starting
Well,
from there.
actually, yes, there was.
Why what?
You and your carry-on, you were like, this is too heavy. I can't carry this. So she buys a roller bag.
Oh my god.
If I
did
roller
not.
carry-on.
Stuffs her carry-on into
In my
that
roller
carry-on.
carry-on.
Oh my god.
Well, it was too heavy.
Which was then taken away from her when we got into the next flight because they weren't allowing any roller bags over a certain size.
Yes, and I do have to say, if you find Lufthansa,
Lufthansa.
they really cram you in if you just have regular economy. Like, so they don't care if it's an overnight flight. International used to be like kind of nice. Oh my gosh, they like pack you in. And they had crappy movies, I do have to say.
Yeah, not very good
Mhm.
choices. I slept most of the time, and I lucked out. At first, I was like, I got a middle seat. But there was no one in front of me and no one behind me. So I leaned back all the way, and then there was no one like leaning back into my lap. So I had a nice nap.
I had a woman in my lap the whole time. Like I could give
In
her
your lap?
yes,
Practically.
Like I could have given her a scalp massage if I wanted to. So when they're handing out like dinner, like they did ask her to sit up once, and then she did, so I could eat. But then like later on, like in the morning, like for like breakfast, like I had to like hold it like 2 inches from my face because she was right there. Like
I would have been like, get off of me right now.
it's like so it was awful. And then because I was all annoyed, and then she was right there. I couldn't even hold anything to read because she was in my face. I left my Kindle in Germany. I left it right into that seat. You know, they have the slide thing in
That's
front
why
of
you
you.
never put anything in the pockets.
That sounds very silly.
I just wanted to be set up for like, oh, great, I'm going to read a little. I'm going to, there's none of that happening. And then I was so annoyed 8.5 hours later
That
from
she
the flight.
rushed off the plane.
Like, yeah, before I like just wanted to like shove the lady. Obviously, I didn't. I would just wanted to get off. I needed space.
Yeah.
So it was my fault. But of course, I remembered in Germany, because that's the airport we were in, Munich, like, oh, shoot, my Kindle's on the plane. Like, I know exactly where it is, but I had just gone through customs, so I can't go back out. And obviously, people are off that plane anyway. So I'm like trying to get a hold of people, trying to get them to like, again, this was my emergency, nobody else's. Like trying to get them to be like, hey, I know right where it is. If they're cleaning the plane, if they can just grab that for me, I will take that from them. Yeah, no.
It's
So-
sad.
It was so sad. I just bought that Kindle on Black Friday, though, for this trip. Like, I hadn't really used it. I had downloaded books. I was like ready. And I was reading for the
It
week.
was great having my Kindle on this trip, I'll have to say. I went through a lot of books.
Yeah. Rub it in, Harry. Rub it in. So they did find my Kindle, except in this airport, Lufthansa, their protocol is they'll hold it for 30 days, but you have to pick it up in person. I'm like, I'm not going back to Germany.
Right.
So I'm like, that's great. But you can use mailbox like Express or etc. to ship it. They didn't respond all week to me. Again, my emergency, not theirs, because I was going to have them shipped to the Netherlands because we were staying in Amsterdam for 3 days after the cruise. But they didn't respond in time. But that was still going to be, I think it was like $90 to have that shipped. So, and then $148 to the US, but they had it shipped express. I'm like, I don't need it like fast at this point.
Right.
So I asked them for the price for not express. So we'll see.
I don't think it's going to be worth it. The Kindle isn't even that much.
No, It wasn't that much. it was mine. I
It's
want
still
it.
sad.
It's sad.
It's like if you lose your phone. Or like you drop it in the water and it's dead. You're still sad about it.
Yeah, that's true. So then we land in Basel, Switzerland. I have to say, of all the places we visited, for me, it's my favorite, I think, just because I could see myself living there. Like, if I had to choose another country to live in, I would choose Switzerland.
What was your favorite part about Switzerland?
The people, I think everyone is just so friendly. And I loved how safe I felt and how like easy the public transportation
Streets
was.
were very clean.
The street, they vacuum their sidewalks. Like, they
my
are
God.
very clean. I loved it. And then
There was a festival there like a day before. You could not even tell except for a little bit confetti, but that's because it rained. So
and
it stuck
everyone
to
will
the
tell
ground.
you because you're
no.
visiting, like, no, we're very clean. Like, this is just because it rained and it's sticking to the ground.
That's no excuse.
Because it was like a pre-London like festival. And then, which sounded really cool, actually.
No, it looked really cool. It was like a 4-day thing. They start at like 4 a.m.
Mhm.
Lanterns
Crazy.
on their head and these masks. It was really. As we saw photos of someone that got there early to
Mhm.
go. It looked really cool.
Had we got there one day earlier, we would have seen the last
I know.
day.
I wish we would have known because I always said we should go earlier than to see it.
Yeah, I definitely would have wanted to see it, though we were gone already 2 weeks, so I don't know. So yeah, and it's like, I like the feeling of feeling safe. Obviously, anything can happen, but like, you just felt safe in that city. And then their public transportation was actually clean. You didn't feel dirty when you get off like the train, like, oh my God, like all these people are touching it. It was just very clean. So I like that as well.
So you'd say that Switzerland is truly a neutral, very safe place to be.
Yes, from my experience. I
Yeah.
mean,
And it was
So it
actually
checks
really
out.
cool because, I mean, in the U.S., we haven't really experienced like war like on our territory, like
Mhm.
where we are. Like, but there
I mean,
they.
like Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like there'd be like a pit and they're like, oh, that's where it's a tank trap, so they would fall in there. Or like they'd see a bridge, like, oh, it used to be half stone and then the other half wood. They're like, you know why? So if anyone invaded, we could just burn the half that they're crossing.
Yeah.
And they're like, there used to be in all their tunnels, because it's mountains everywhere, they would be set to like during the wars blow it up, so that way you couldn't get through it. Because the only like city that they could kind of take over was Basel,
mhm.
because that one's exposed because it's right near France and Germany. So they're like, we were prepared and we warned the Germans we would blow up the tunnels if they took it so they wouldn't get anywhere else.
So they'd get Basel, but nothing else, because then it's hills all around. They'll like, we'll blow up our own bridges.
Yep.
So
Dang.
you get one city and that's it. So really what Germany had wanted was the railroad to go through.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But yeah, so that was, I really loved Switzerland.
Yep. So second day there, we went to Lucerne.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a really cool town. Lots of streets and shopping. We had a really nice... It was just the two of us that booked this tour.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like almost we had a private tour.
Oh my God, we got picked up every time in a Mercedes,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
That is awesome.
With real leather
So
seats.
she showed us around,
Dang.
told us like the history. Then we had some time by ourselves and we went shopping. We got like Swiss Army knives. I got a watch.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. We got a
You're
bunch
gonna
of
have to show me
chocolate.
that watch.
Oh yeah, I'll show you the watch after. It's really pretty.
She explained the different chocolates. And
Yes, she gave us 3 places. One like high-end, expensive. She's like, that's just for you.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was a middle of the road one, like, oh, that's for like family and like to hand out just like, to close friends. And then there's a third one, which like, oh, if you want to buy chocolate and like en masse and like hand out to people, you go there.
Yeah. She said, it's good. It's still Swiss chocolate. It's just,
Cheaper
yeah.
and not as luxurious or whatever.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. So yeah, I really, oh my God, there was this one church, they called it like jokingly like the Barbie church.
Because it was white and pink marble. Well, it wasn't real marble
Mhm.
because they were cheap. They used wood and then painted it to look like marble.
That's so smart, though.
Yeah.
But then all the gold everywhere.
Yes,
It was
and lots of
just-
gold.
Yeah, it was just like, it was gorgeous. We've seen so many churches though in the 2-week time we were gone. Like
It was a lot.
it kind of blended in together, but that one stuck out, and then one we'll talk later. And
Yeah.
Cologne stuck out. But yeah.
So on that day, we learned a lot about like what it's actually like to live in Switzerland, like rules about their animals. She said, so for cats, if you leave, like go on trips, someone must go in every 24 hours to check on them.
Which makes sense. We do that already.
We did that for
Mhm.
ours. For dogs, they can't be left alone for more than 4 hours at a time. They have to always be on leash and mandatory training classes,
Mhm.
Which is
their
really
dogs.
smart.
Yeah, so like any dog we saw was very well behaved and they're allowed pretty much anywhere besides grocery stores.
Yeah, so they would take them on the trains, take them everywhere. Like it was
Mhm.
kind of great.
And another rule about the guinea pigs, which I feel like should be
Everywhere.
everywhere, there has to be 2 because they're social animals.
Mhm.
Right.
So if one dies, you either have to get another one or rehome it. And then, but the thing is, like, no one's really, like, they're not, like, actively searching, like, for these rules, but a lot of neighbors and stuff, if they notice these things, will call, like,
Yeah.
the authorities.
Basically, I mean, jokingly, it's a society of Karens because they will tattle on you over little things, or they see someone jaywalking, someone will say something to you,
Right.
or like even our driver had said, like he lives by a bank, and if he sees someone like parking like crookedly, he
Oh
would
my
actually
God.
yell out the window and yell at them for parking crooked. Now you're taking up 2
Oh
my
spaces,
God.
but I kind of love it.
Yeah, and the tour guide, she's had a residency. She's been living there for, I think, at least over 10 years.
Yeah.
Her husband has work there, but she's Dutch, and she's like, the Dutch say that's not, my problem, but
Mhm.
the Swiss will tell you.
Yes, and it's very hard to become a Swiss citizen.
Mhm.
Like you can get a work visa pretty easy, but as soon as like you don't have a job, you need to go. They're not supporting you. And if you want to be a Swiss citizen, you have to like go in front of the panel of the town that you live in or like the state you live
And then
in.
they can ask you anything.
Yes, like they'll ask you the circumference of the town, who's the butcher. They want to make sure
What?
you're spending your money in the town that you're
Yeah.
living in.
Dang.
Yeah, so she was like, well, I don't plan on becoming a Swiss citizen. So like she's like, I shop in Germany sometimes. And then our driver, who's Swiss raised and born, is like, I never shop in Germany. I
Yeah.
shop Swiss only.
Oh,
Yep, putting the
gosh.
money back into the economy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Switzerland has a very high, the
Yes,
pay
even
rate's
with
high,
the pay rate's high.
but their cost of living is
Yes.
also high.
But then the thing with the animals again, she's like, the chickens, like there's no like, cage free. They're all free range chickens. So they're always like out and free.
And they always have to have access to the outdoors. If they
Yep.
want to go outside, an animal can go outside.
Mhm.
So they raise more chickens and pork, and a little bit of sheep, but that's it in Switzerland. They don't
Yeah.
have a lot of
So
cattle.
the thing is, yes, the
at least where
farm-
we were.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think she said the cattle wasn't big.
Hmm.
But the farms are smaller, and if you have a farm, they're subsidized by the government because because they're small and they can't be bigger, they can't actually make enough to fully even support themselves.
Right.
You have to have another
And
job.
What
usually.
was it? The percentage Swiss they provide for only maybe 60% of their food.
Yeah,
They can't actually
they can't fully support their food system, but they would like to get there.
Mhm.
And they're like you know how people in America, like you go to Whole Foods and you think, okay, we're getting organic, we're getting healthy food, like everything's natural. They're saying like that to them in Switzerland is like low grade, like because everything that they have is really natural. There's no GMOs. Everything is really healthy for you. Even their water, which I have to say, coming back to America, I don't like the taste of our water now compared to the water that I've had.
Well, then they have fountains, which I've heard, like, in Europe, that it is a thing, like, they have the spouts, so you could put your bottles under to drink out of. But then there's a couple in the town Lucerne we saw had lower ones for dogs.
So they can drink too.
Isn't
And
that cute?
it's not just like good fresh water, it's mineral water that's melting from the Swiss Alps.
Oh, that makes it.
Yeah.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
It was so good. Yeah.
All right. So now, day 3. So,
Oh, wait. Can we talk about, we learned one more thing on day 2. I just want to talk about, like, their true democracy, which is really cool to learn about because we're a republic, actually. So they're true democracy, but the problem is, so if you're a Swiss citizen, you can vote, but it can take a long time to get anything done, literally, because you have more than 2 parties. So they can have like 14 parties depending on where you live. And so nothing's ever like close, like 51 to 50 or whatever. So let's say in your town, you would like a new pool, for instance. Like you need a new pool, the old one needs to get fixed, but it's going to cost taxpayer money. So literally every citizen in that town can vote on it, but it can take a long time to get passed. So if it doesn't go through that time, you got to try again next year. So like I could see, like I like it, but I could see progress being slow.
Yeah.
And you also, she says, like it makes you choose where you want to live. So let's say you live in a community with a lot of older people. You might not want to live there if you have kids and you want people to vote more for like what the kids need. So it just makes you think about where you're living.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All
right. On to day 3.
Day 3. So on day 2 was the included walking tour through Basel, which we just assumed, all right, we're going to miss it. We'll explore on our own for day 3. But the tour guide there, he was so nice. He was like stationed at the hotel and it was like he made us like dinner reservations, like for anyone that asked, like help you get around if you want to navigate like the public transport. And he offered to do a shortened version of the walking tour we missed. So it was just us 2 again, had our private tour. So we went around Basel with him. He was from Mexico.
Yep.
Right? So he knows some German, but so in Switzerland majority speak Swiss German, and then they learn High German when they go to school. And then, so we were on this tour, and some guy like said something to him, and then he spoke back, so we thought like, oh, he knows what he's saying. Then he turns to us and goes, I have no idea what he just said. It's like Swiss German's like drunk German. I don't get it.
Yeah. So that was hilarious.
Yeah, but then another thing we learned about Switzerland, there's 4 languages in the country. Swiss German, High German, Italian, because they're close to Italy.
Yep.
And another Latin-based language that's dying out.
Yeah. And the kind of cool thing was, like, the further we got away, it kind of shifted. But in Switzerland and then in France and some German countries, they thought we were German. Like, they actually just spoke German to us. They didn't think we were tourists.
So they looked at our face and were like,
we don't speak. But then they saw, like, when you go to pay, like, oh, Italian. And then they started trying to speak to you in Italian. And we're like, no. Sorry, we're in the Americans.
Stupid Americans, and they don't like one language.
The American school system, we don't learn multiple languages. Like, these people are fluent in multiple languages. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, the expectation for what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like, the amount that you can actually, like, comprehend and speak is very low in America. Like, you have to take a second language to graduate.
But I feel like they should start second languages earlier.
Like elementary, preschool.
And more, like, some schools have more options. We didn't have very many options.
No, our options suck.
I think it was just Spanish.
Yeah.
And Seneca. But that was because of where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you didn't really have any options at all, really.
No. Yeah. So, 3rd day was really nice. We went around Basel. We went out with him. Then we came back. I think we had some lunch. Then put our bags to the side because that was the day we went to the boat.
Yes.
And then we went back into town and did some shopping. We got some Swiss wine. So they make their wine there and they don't import it to any other country. So that was cool to have. I didn't even taste it, actually. But
you didn't that day?
No.
Oh,
But it was good. We brought it with us to the Netherlands where we had met up with some friends, and they had it there, and I drank some German wine.
Oh, you drank the German? That's right. You didn't want it. It was so good. Sorry, Ari. Yeah, so Switzerland does not import. You cannot buy their wine anywhere else but in Switzerland.
Yep, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the third day was just really walking around looking at the different shops. Lots of high-end stores.
Yeah, a lot of high-end
Louis
stores.
Vuitton.
They look at us, though. They knew we didn't belong there.
Yeah.
And, I do have to say, like, the whole mentality, like, from high school on, the cool kids, quote unquote, like, some people just never lose it. Like, so when we were waiting for the tour bus, there was a group there, like, along with us. We chose to do different activities with them when we were in Switzerland, so we did our own thing. Like, so they're all, like, friends, and they're talking, and they're pretty boisterous and loud, almost, like, a little obnoxious, but whatever. Like, they're just having fun. But then they're like, we're just sitting there, and there's, like, another 2 chairs. And instead of opening up their circle as we're waiting in the hotel to get, like, the bus and, like, talking to us, they're like, oh, is anyone using this chair? We're like, oh, no. Instead, they just grab the chair away from us and then close the circle, turn their backs to us.
Yep. But then we went to the ship that day, and so they let us in, and we had like 2 hours before we had to go and do the briefing for like the first day, and they had champagne in our room. So me and Mom had a glass of champagne. We actually had too much champagne.
We did the first thing.
We had
we
more
were
than
so
a glass.
Yeah,
that's funny.
We could have, I was like, I actually thinking, if we had time, we could record the podcast just to discuss our first 3 days. Like, we were so, I think that champagne really went to our head.
Yeah, we did. So then we had the taste of our first meal there, which is amazing. Chef prepared.
Yeah.
It was so good. Everything I ate was amazing.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, a lot of the desserts were mango desserts,
good.
and I'm allergic to mango.
You are? I didn't know that.
I didn't realize it until our book club when I needed to, I was coughing and felt like I couldn't breathe.
Oh, that's
fun. It's always made my tongue feel a little weird, right? Like a little tingly. But I just would just ignore it. Like, maybe that's what mango does to me.
Yeah.
But then, maybe I'm kind of allergic. You know how you kind of think that?
Yeah.
And then at our book club, I realized, oh my God, I'm really, I
you
cannot
said you
eat
went
mango.
and took Benadryl, and I was like,
yeah, but it was amazing. My favorite one, so there's some kind of mango dessert that was really good. It's almost like a jelly or something on top. But then my favorite one was like a mango sauce and then a coconut whipped cream. And you just had those 2 spoonfuls together. It was amazing.
Interesting.
So then day 4, we go to Breisach, Germany, which is, I think So we went to the Black Forest, which was about an hour away from where the boat was. And I did about a half an hour hike through the Black Forest, which was really nice.
Alternative?
For her to do a 10-hour hike through the Black Forest.
And I kind of want to see the cuckoo clock, so I was like, I guess I'll do the half-hour one.
Yes, I'm sure that was what the...
And it was also supposed to rain that day, so...
ew.
It didn't end up raining. It actually ended up snowing.
Yeah, oh my gosh, and everyone's like, because, it's from people from all over, different countries, different states, and they're like, it's amazing. They're, taking photos, it's so beautiful, and Ari and I are like, as they just walk by.
I've seen better snow.
Right, we left to get away from this.
But it was beautiful, the forest. It reminds me of, the last Twilight movie where they show the forest shots.
Yes.
It reminded me of that.
It did, because the forest was actually beautiful.
It really was.
Now, you went in the forest. Was it really pretty?
Yeah, very, green and vibrant. Lots of, pretty little flowers.
Mm-hmm.
There was cool kind of, walkways that were attached to, the side of, some rocks that you, went on. I feel like you wouldn't have liked walking on those, so.
I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, so that was fun. So then I had left my mother alone at the cuckoo clocks. So, I had to take a quick look, and I wanted to come back and really, look at them because they're beautiful, handcrafted. And I come back as she's checking out at the counter.
Yes. So,
Her
the good news is, for $75, you can, so whatever you purchase then for that day, in the glass museum, where they do blowing glass and, pick stuff up, or anything that's wood-made in the cuckoo clock area, it's all one shipping. So then, of course, I had to shop at the glass spot. But yeah, I may have gotten myself a cuckoo clock. But I was so disappointed. I get it. It's all handmade, made by 2 hands, not a factory. But I had no idea how expensive cuckoo clocks were. So the one I wanted was 1,300 euros.
Wait, 1,300 euros?
Yes. 1,300 euros.
Wait, so then what's the...
It's more in American.
So like $1,500 in America.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did not get that because I could not justify going in credit card debt for a cuckoo clock. And plus, Alyssa had said she wanted one. And in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I'll get my mom one too. And it'll be amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom, you're not getting a cuckoo clock. Because I don't even know if you want one. So I was
It's
thinking...
a lot of money to spend for someone that might not even want a cuckoo clock.
Or ends up hating it because it's like a freaking thing's going off every hour. I hate this cuckoo clock.
That is how cuckoo clocks work.
Yep. So I got a small one for myself. I did get something maybe for Alyssa and Anthony. They don't listen, so I guess it's okay to say. But
A Christmas gift.
it's a Christmas gift because it was still expensive.
Yeah.
So yeah. The
Yep.
thought of buying ones for $100 each is like a fairy tale.
Yep. So
Mhm.
after my hike, I met her up there. She showed me the one she had purchased. And then we went over to the glass blowing thing, which was
Yep.
cool. And
So you
my
got
mother got
I
a
was-
vase.
I was going to ask about that.
It was
really
a vase
pretty.
and a bird that
And a
I do not
bird.
need, but it's really pretty.
The
It's-
bird's the tiny thing?
Yep.
Oh.
I got a little owl and a
You'd have to show
bracelet,
me
which
that
is
too.
beautiful. Yes, I'll show you after. But it was really cool. And then I just tagged onto her shipping already.
Yeah, so she could ship it back because she
Yep.
got herself a bracelet, so
Nice.
that worked out well.
Yep. All right. So then we went back to the boat, had some more drinks.
Struggling over there?
No, just
The
grab
nice
the next
thing
one.
is, so like I don't like to drink a lot of alcohol, and they
What was that?
She kept bobbing in and out of the microphone.
no
Oh.
one could tell.
It was funny.
And so they had a lot of mixed drinks, like mocktail options on the boat, which was really nice. And so I did really like this one cider because, like, the very first night I was like, "Oh, do you have any sweeter wines?" And he was like, "Oh, no." And then the next night he found me a cider to
Mhm.
have. The staff on the boat was just amazing. And so he would keep getting me these ciders. And then the one day for lunch, he forgot. Then I saw him again at dinner. He's like, "I couldn't sleep. I forgot to give you your cider at lunch."
Oh
So
my
he went and
god.
got my cider right away.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's so nice.
The staff was amazing.
The staff was absolutely amazing. Like I actually don't know how I'm going to function now. I like eating lunch without a wine. Like I had wine with lunch and it was
If you
great.
put it in a water bottle, no one will know.
Yeah.
I don't think you should do that.
I don't think I should, but it was really
No.
nice. And
Yeah.
I think if I do it like in my normal life, I think it means I have a problem. But
No,
it was
it's
really
okay.
lovely there.
As long as you recognize it's a problem, that's the first step. It's fine.
All
You
right.
can stay on step one.
All right, we'll stay step one. No, but honestly, it was so great. And then the next day we went to Strasbourg, France, which was pretty great. I mean, they should have told us. I'm still glad
No.
we went.
Strasbourg wasn't not
Yes,
what
it
you're
was.
thinking of.
That was
You're
Monday.
thinking of Colmar.
No, after Black Forest, I got it right here. Sunday the 16th.
No, so we went to Colmar the same day we went to Breisac, whatever.
Oh, we went to Colmar that night.
That, yes. So
Oh,
it was in the
that's right.
afternoon. Colmar is in France. And it was like beautiful old houses, half timber houses. This was a place that was not bombed during the war.
Mhm.
So, older houses. And that's where we saw Notre Dame de Strasbourg.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, not Strasbourg. Colmar. Because we did see
Colmar.
the Strasbourg one the next day. But it was on a Sunday, so a lot of shops were closed.
Mhm.
Which we didn't know, but I feel like it was fine. I still would have won. It was beautiful. It was like medieval village. It was
Yep.
beautiful. And there was a little pastry shop open, so we stopped and got little
Macaroon.
macarons.
Macaron.
The macaroons or macarons?
Macarons.
That's
Not the little sandwich ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
They were
making
really
sure.
good. Because I've never liked them here because they're usually like too hard or just taste like sugar. They were amazing. Then also there was a stork in like one of the trees like right above.
yeah. That
Yeah.
was cool.
We were really close to that.
The storks are actually huge, and they used to be endangered, and I think they're still endangered. But they were really
coming
high.
back,
They're
yeah.
coming back. So like there's storks literally everywhere, and like they like to have platforms for them, so that way they can nest, so that way they help out the population.
Yes, and then there was one on a church on our way to the Black Forest that we
Mhm.
drove past, and they said this one was known for stealing socks from people's clotheslines.
Yeah, I want to make their nest comfy. I kind of like it. It's a smart stork.
Interesting.
I forgot we did 2 things that day.
Yes.
Yeah,
So then day 5 are we on now?
yeah. So it's
We
Monday
went
the
to
17th. Yeah.
Strasbourg.
Yes.
So Strasbourg in France.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the church was beautiful. I did the steps to the top, which is 332 steps up. Very old
Easy.
spiral staircase.
Yeah.
Then there's some people like that stop, take like a breath. So they're like, I'll go around, but like I'm walking this like little 2 inches of the narrow steps to go up, but it was pretty.
Oh, that's where we also went wine tasting.
Yes, in the afternoon we went to, where'd we go?
It doesn't say Elastian wine tasting.
Yeah.
The town of Elastian.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
The
So
wine was good.
it was good. Though I do have to say, in Strasbourg, is that when you did the tower?
Yes, that's when I did the tower. You had your time to yourself.
I went did a little shopping, and then that's where I got the little stork for Anthony and Alyssa.
It only took me like 18 minutes total. So then we were supposed to meet like after half an hour. So I just kind of walked around by myself.
But it was nice. At one point, so I'm sipping a cappuccino in France. Then I'm sipping a cappuccino in France alone. This is like amazing. Like I was just loving the moment. I'm like, I really like this. And their cappuccino, like their coffees are all small, but so good. And I do have to say, people in Europe, at least everywhere where we went, nobody walks around with a water. I mean, if you have a water bottle, like it's in your bag, but like no one walks around with a drink in their hand. Like even coffee, if you're gonna have a coffee, you sit, you have your coffee. Otherwise, you're not walking
you don't
around
rush
with a coffee.
Around.
Yeah,
if you're gonna have a coffee, you sit.
Yeah.
So I started to really like cappuccinos towards the end. I didn't even need any sugar or anything added into them,
and they're so strong because it's just espresso. Like it's
and
so
then when
good.
we got back, I started having caffeine headaches.
She's like, I just have this headache. I'm like, it's a caffeine headache, Gary. You're addicted. Yeah. Oh, I do have to say, when you mentioned slowers, I'm going to go rewind and go back to our second night in Basel. So everything's slower, and you want to be like when you're at a restaurant, you don't want to be rude. But so we were seated in the hotel. Like, so night 2, we just stayed at the hotel for dinner because they also had some authentic Swedish dishes. And it was an amazing dinner. But the waiter, we wanted our bill. Like, we're waiting forever. Like, 2 other people were seated. They ate their meal. They were also done. We waited an hour, almost and a half, for our freaking bill.
That's how you learned when he takes your plates. You say, "Can we have the bill?"
Yes. Like, you can see we're looking at our phones. Like, I'm like, where the hell? I want to go to bed. Like, at this point, like, what is going on? Like, eventually, like, I think I waved to him. Like, and I know this is considered rude, but I'm like, dude, we've been sitting here for an hour and a half. Like, I want to go now. I feel like a hostage in a hostage situation. He didn't even come back to see if he wanted more wine or anything. Like,
you should have just gotten up and left.
I don't know. Well, we were staying there. So.
Yeah, it was the restaurant and the hotel. So
so they can just bring the bill to your room.
And they don't
got up and left.
And they don't like when Americans, like, we rush, like, they like you to order your drinks, take your time, then maybe give us your appetizer, then come back. Like, eating is an event, not like we're like in a hurry, right? Like, we're like, I don't want to sit in this restaurant for 2 hours. I just want to go.
Yeah.
So that was like the change of pace was different.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Day 6.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Speyer, Germany.
Named after spiders.
It was very cold that day. And, of course, there was a church. It was nice to look at. We didn't go in that one. We didn't care. I think that day... Oh, I got a wallet in that town.
Oh, and I got Pretty Woman by a snobby lady in a store. Yes. So I'm like, because I had like a big bag. I'm like, I want something like a mini backpack or something more, like a little bit easier to carry around for a purse. So I'm like, this one's nice. It was like $20 out of this really pretty store, like a bag store. And then I'm like, there's another one like in the window for 99 euros. Like, okay, let me see. Like, that might be nice to use for work. And I would I keep my purses like forever. So I'm like, okay, if I spent $100, I'm going to use it. So I have to justify that. So like, I just wanted to see it. So we go in, I told her I wanted that bag and I would like to see this other bag in the window. So she gets the bag I want for the $20, 20 euros. We go inside and she's like, you want to see the one that's 99 euros? I was like, yes, that's the one. So she shows it to me. I almost bought it out of spite, but it wasn't worth it. Like, I didn't care for like
no,
the
it actually
pockets and
didn't seem
things.
like that well made, that purse.
No, it didn't seem worth it. But I'm like, you think I can't afford it? Like, just because I bought a $20 bag? Like, lady, I can afford it. I just didn't like it. But I felt bad.
I bought a really nice wallet, and it has like this cool like card thing in it, and it was like leather. I like it.
Nice.
Yeah. She didn't get snubbed. I got snubbed. But any high-end store, though, and I think it's because we also don't have the confidence, like, or the nicer clothes, but, like, they always have doormen at the door. They look at us like, don't even try it.
Yeah. So then that same day we went and then we sat and got cappuccino, which was nice. And it's really cool, like, seeing these older towns, like, that was the town that had the largest Roman church.
Yes.
So that one was cool. And then there's, like, a lot of history behind that.
Though I barely paid attention because it was so freaking cold. And she was really like...
She was standing in the shadows of this church.
Yes, and we're all like moving, trying not to be rude, but moving away towards
just wanted to be in the sun.
Like,
yeah.
It was
but
so
it's really cool. There was, like, these towns, because they're older, you could see there's like, oh, that's the old wall that would go around the entire city. That's the old gate. It's like all these stone.
Yeah, everyone had like gates and things because it used to be you were kind of like gated into your town for safety.
Yeah.
Then like the royalty.
So it's
or
really
whatever
cool to
keep you
see that
safe.
kind of thing.
And like why like our roads are falling apart. Like how do they build cobblestone roads and build buildings in the 13th century that are still standing now?
Or
Like,
there's
that's
a
impressive.
wooden bridge in Lucerne that was built in the 1400s.
Yes.
That's still standing, not rotting.
Not rotting.
Well, actually, some of it's been replaced because they had a fire and that burned.
Yeah, part of it was,
yeah.
yeah. But, like, how is it still standing? And, like, oh, they also vacuum it. That was Switzerland, so yeah.
Yeah.
But
Very clean.
I can't get over that.
I
We
wanna
vacuum
live-
our sidewalks.
I want to live in a place where they vacuum their sidewalks. I think that
Yeah.
sounds wonderful.
Well, you don't even have a sidewalk.
I don't even
You don't have to worry about
I
that.
don't even have a driveway. It's stone. Oh, I would love cobblestone instead of pavement. That would be awesome to have a cobblestone
Should that be
driveway.
I don't think you're ever going to move out of this house. The addition's going on. You're going to get cobblestone for your driveway.
I'm not paying for these additions. I'm going to
You
save my
should
money
move
to
out.
get out.
Move out.
So then, after Spire, we went and got lunch on the ship. Amazing. Each day we started eating less and less. And they started being like, "What was wrong with it? Like we're just full."
Yeah, they get really
No.
offended if you
Do-
don't eat your food.
They're like, "You don't want dessert with your lunch?" I'm like, "No, I'm okay with just the salad."
Oh my gosh.
So then after that, we went to Rudesheim where we had dinner.
Oh,
It was a cute little town. I wish we were there earlier because everything closes at like 6 o'clock except for the restaurant.
Yeah. Oh my god, I really wish we could have stayed longer. Oh, and I embarrassed myself, but that was fine.
Yeah, I told her not to.
So there was a guy there. I took a photo. I have to show that to Amanda too. So we know, like, one of your
creepy,
friends
actually.
is Casey. Don't say his
Yeah.
last name.
Yep.
So he, like, this guy just looked like he was
An
a
old
relative.
version
An old
of-
version.
Wait, that's like when you guys were in Disney and you said you found my doppelganger.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
On the
We saw
bus or whatever.
French you with her hair in braids. and it
That's
was-
right.
Yes.
That's so funny.
So I like, kind of sneak
him.
I saw old Casey. So I took a photo and then I sent it to my Lisa, which is Casey's mom, and we're friends. And I'm like, Lisa, where is Jason's family? Because she was married to someone that has direct relatives in Germany. And she's like, oh, they have family in Rudestein. They live right around there. I know exactly where you are. And then Lisa sends me this great photo that she has hanging on her wall from Rudestein.
Shine.
So, Shine. And then, and so I'm like, oh my god! And so we were there. Dinners are an event, so we're there forever. So I stand up after a beer, and then and maybe a glass of wine, and then I stand, and then I stand up and I go talk to him like, hey, do you know Casey? And he was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you.
Oh my gosh. you
Yeah,
did
I
not.
can't believe you did that.
I walked away so embarrassing. And then Ari did a group shot with everybody
So
in Rudestein.
our boat, like the director,
Rob, he was
Yes.
pretty good looking.
he was there. He was English.
I love that British
He had
accent.
he just seemed like he was made for that job, like the great personality
Yeah.
like you need for that. And he'd come up, he's like, "You're not gonna let your mom show you up, right?" So I got pulled in to do a ski shot.
Yep.
Ski shot?
Yep, where there's a bunch of shot glasses attached to a ski.
A ski.
Oh,
Shot
yeah.
ski.
And I'm
They can
short, so I'm like
They-
trying to put my
yep.
my mouth to it, so like I'm not getting this just dumped on me because I'm too short for the
Right.
But yeah, I was like, just a little bit, please, because like just like the taste of alcohol makes me feel like I'm gonna throw up
Yep.
now. So I was like, just a little. He's like, okay, fine, a little bit. But like any more than that, I think I would have thrown up because it just made me feel sick.
Yep.
But I'm glad I did it. It was fun. It was right next to Rob.
Yes, he was so cute. And then,
you got pulled in to do some musical number with cowbells.
yes, I did the
Oh
bells.
my gosh.
I forget what we played, but apparently it sounded good of like sitting with all the bells. I couldn't tell if it sounded like music or not.
It sounded good. I mean, he was pointing to you when to go.
Yeah, he did. He pointed to us like each person when to go. So that was fun. That was actually a really nice night.
That was really nice. Oh, yeah, then I got asked if I'm still in high school.
Oh, yeah. Ari was so offended.
What? You shouldn't be offended. You still look extremely youthful.
Okay, but high school, that means she thinks I'm at least 17.
I don't know.
All
What were you
right.
wearing, though?
I don't remember. Probably a sweater and
Okay,
some
well, if you had
pants.
ripped jeans on, most people don't assume that you're in your 20s.
What's wrong with ripped jeans?
I have ripped jeans on today.
Okay, but, like, you know what? Never mind.
I don't look like I'm in
Ripped
my
jeans are a
19s.
statement.
They are a statement.
They are a statement.
That you
Amanda's
don't like
okay.
pants.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Why did Zoom stop?
No.
No.
Oh, wait. It's connected.
Recording in progress.
Oh, so we lost it and then it restarted.
I'm sure we have the audio, right?
I have the
Yeah.
audio,
So
so
Yeah,
we,
so it would just...
Oh,
the video will
right.
be
Moving
blunt.
on.
It's
I forget what day we're even on at this
So
point.
that was
8?
Rudestein, 8-9.
Rudeshine. There's no T.
Rudestein. I was going to say, I'm not German,
You're
but I
adding-
am German.
You're adding T's. You kept calling Munich Mutnik.
I did. I just kept, we're in Munich.
Wait, what was the Listerine one? The
Lucerne.
Lucerne.
Yeah.
Lucerne.
But you kept saying it like
Lucerine.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
funny.
All right. So days 7 or 8, wherever we are at this point, we went. So we were sailing for that day because they wanted us. Because most time we sailed at night, but we started sailing that morning. So because we went past a lot of castles, so we were on the rooftop and Rob was giving history and background of each of these castles we passed. So it was really beautiful. There was one that had a cage out the front. They're like, so that's where they put their prisoners. So out there in the cold or just get the sun beating on you, you'd tell them whatever they wanted to hear.
That sounds like in the Wonka movie, that castle. Did you see Wonka?
I did.
You did or didn't?
I did.
Okay, do you remember where they send the whatever her name is, Noodle into the little castle, Rapunzel-ish castle thing, right? It's literally, it has no doors. They just drop her in there and lock the window. Do you remember?
Don't remember.
Okay, anyways.
Anyway, sounds like that, sure. But yeah, it was cool to see these old castles. And then they brought out hot chocolate for us. So we each had our own hot chocolate. And then they also came up with, what was it?
Oh, it was warm spiced brandy, and it was so good.
I did not put that in my hot chocolate.
Oh my God, my hot chocolate had never tasted so good.
Disgusting.
Because it kind of burned, but it was cold outside, and then it was windy, and we were looking out the castles, and it was amazing.
You saw all your cat hairs going in my nose.
Gross. All right. So then, after we saw these castles on the Rhine, we landed in Koblenz, Germany.
Koblenz?
Koblenz. So I don't remember what we did there.
We left. We did. Isn't that the
We
day
did
we went
something.
to Moselle wine tasting?
Okay, so we went wine tasting that day.
Yes, we went to Moselle wine
Oh,
tasting.
yes. That's where they had, it's mostly
The barrels.
Rieslings and
Yes.
white wines. I loved it. That's how I discovered, okay, I don't hate dry wines. I hate dry reds.
Yeah,
Because I like the white dry wines.
And that's what you drink, right?
yeah, the dry reds.
Yeah, so that's all I've really ever been exposed to because of her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I learned I love German wine, and these barrels were massive. You can crawl into them and fit probably 30 people laying
Crazy.
down in this barrel.
Yes, it was absolutely insane how huge they were.
Yeah, so I like that. Wines were good.
Anything funny happened? Oh, was that the day I got you? At one point you were laughing. Nope, that was a different place. I snapped her photo because I have it on Facebook. It was such a beautiful photo of you when you were laughing. It was so pretty.
I literally, out of all of the pictures that you guys posted, I did not know she was laughing in that one, that you caught her laughing. I was like, wow, she's not smiling in any of these pictures except for this one.
She
Yeah.
hates her photo taken.
Well, I was laughing because she took a photo of me and I had my hair up and just the bangs are out. And I don't really have time to do much with my hair in the mornings. And I was like, oh my gosh, my haircut's giving page boy.
Oh my gosh.
And then we're laughing because the night before in Rudeshine, talking to my friend, she had just mentioned some family members have how'd she say
The
it?
chin to neck strap.
Chin to neck strap.
Oh my god.
So then we're like, page boy, chin to neck strap. Maybe we're just drunk, so because we found it very funny.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my
at a
gosh.
wine tasting.
Funny.
So you were laughing, and it's such a beautiful photo.
That
of
was
you.
the day. The big barrels were done. The Alice whatever.
Uh-huh.
That was the big barrel. So that was early on.
That's
So that
one.
was that day we saw there's like vineyards like up in like the mountains. They go like
that's
vertical,
right. Yes.
which was really cool to see. I've never seen so many vineyards.
And they were saying how hard it is to get workers because you can't use any machines to pick the wines because they're
Right.
on mountains. So to pick off the grapes and everything, it used to be like college kids would do it or high school kids. Nobody wants to do that for very little wage. So it's hard for them to make money to actually pay people to get these wine grapes off the hills, like these mountains.
I wouldn't want to.
Neither would
I
I.
feel like I die.
Yeah. And they also didn't ship to the U.S. each wine place we went because I wanted to buy wine at each place. But unfortunately, they don't ship
That's
here.
where we got the bottle of wine that you had today.
Yes, I
Which
brought it
was
back.
Really good.
Yep. And then we also discovered a spritzer. They call it a spritzer. You're supposed to have spritzer glasses.
Oh,
but
so that's what
I
we
couldn't
learned
ship back.
Inspire. They
Inspire.
had bubble glasses because they're like, oh, you eat greasy food, and they're like, oh, you slip out of your fingers. So they have like the indents.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
like an indents.
glasses.
Yeah, and then so it like
They're like 5 fingers of
wine,
and then they're
top it
5
off.
fingers of sparkling water, but she flipped her hand the other
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Get it? Yeah.
That's
So it's only a little bit of sparkling water,
Yeah.
but it's good. All right.
All right. Next day, we went to Cologne,
Oh
which
my
I
gosh,
love. So
loved
we
it.
had a lot booked for that day. The night before we went to Rob, we're like, okay, should we take out like the palaces thing? He's like, no, just don't do the walking tour in Cologne in the morning. Go out yourself because, you could probably go through it faster, go through shops and see what you
Right.
want to see. So I loved the church, of course, the cathedral.
That was the second one that I just fell in love
It was
with.
beautiful.
It's so huge and massive, and they saved
so
that during
intricate and
World War
detailed.
II, too.
Yes. So Cologne, about, let's say, like 98%.
Yeah,
of it
they
or
said
something.
98% was wiped out, flattened from World War II.
The only reason the church survived is they knew the bombs were coming. They took out the windows. So that way, when it was bombed, the air was like able to vent through and didn't like destroy as much.
Interesting. I would have never thought that's how that worked.
So, yeah, it was really cool. So you saw the Cologne Church, the cathedral, right? Like, it was just huge.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the shops, and then where Cologne came from.
Yeah. So we got, was it 47?
4711.
Yes. So originally, the original scent they drank as an elixir because they thought it was supposed to be like good for their health. Then turns out, when science came around, later on, they realized it was not good for you to drink. So then they turned it into cologne.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what ingredient was in there. They said it was some kind of alcohol. It was like the same something in like something like that's really bad for you.
Well, just like you don't drink isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Rubbing
but-
alcohol.
Growing up, like in my house, a lot of times we would just call perfume cologne, but that's where the name came from. It's
From
from Cologne.
Is it spelled the same? The Colgne?
So that's how Americans spell
It's
it.
like, yeah, it's
But how
the
is it-
German is C, the O with the little dots,
Umlaut?
L, and so it's like
Yeah.
cool.
Cologne.
We can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do want to go back to the mountains of the wine, like the grapes and everything. So every year they crown a witch to talk
Yes,
about the
the
witch.
wine witch.
The wine witch. So
Was
instead
it
of like
Airy?
it was no.
No, you gotta live there.
You have to live there. So instead of being like Miss, like, the corn husker girl or whatever,
Mhm.
you are the wine witch. And it
Mhm.
came from, do you remember the story, Ari?
No, sounds like you do though.
Oh, I have it in my phone. I don't have my phone here.
So I think there was a woman who
Mhm.
who made wines.
She
and
learned it from her father.
Yes, and it was so good. They're like, oh, it must be. She would also knew I think herbs and
She knew herbs like for medicine to cure people too.
medicine.
Mhm.
So they thought she was a witch, because she's healing people. So she must be a
And
witch.
She must be a witch because she was beating men with better tasting wine
Yes.
in competitions.
But then I think it wasn't a king, it was like bishop, someone in power,
Yeah, a bishop, I think.
fell ill, and then no one could cure him. So they asked her, and the agreement was like, oh, we won't kill you if you're able to heal him.
Mhm.
So she got like got him better, and then from then on, he only bought wines from her.
Yep. And then they didn't hang her because she was sentenced to be hanged the next day. Or burned at the stake, one of the two, I forget.
I think
But,
they
yeah.
usually burn them at the stake.
Yeah. So luckily for her, he lived and she cured him. And then, she went on to produce her wine.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to go back.
Women cannot make better wine than men. Must be a witch.
Right. Those whole witch trials are all about just accusing women for no reason because they didn't like them.
Yep.
So annoying. Anyway, I don't want to get on my high horse about that, so we'll move on. It's just against women.
All right, so then, the same day, we went to this palace. I forgot the name of the dude already. There was
the Brew Unsacco Palaces. I have it right here.
Yeah, I don't think you pronounced that right.
Where?
See, here you go.
There was 3. There was that bishops again.
It was a bishop. They actually had a child, but that's okay.
Well, you confess your
He
sins are forgiven.
Yep.
Yeah, but anyways, like a beautiful palace.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to see the staircase was all made out of marble, painted ceilings, of like angels. It was beautiful.
It really was beautiful. And then that evening, what do we do? Oh, then we
went to the hunting lodge that also owned by this guy. He hunted, was it hawks?
Yes, he hunted with hawks.
So they hunt storks?
No, they're hunting down blue herons.
Blue herons. So the thing is, you have 3 hawks, 2 males, 1 female. You send the 2 smaller males out to kind of attack the heron. And then the female, which because they're bigger, comes on, grabs by the neck, drags it down. Then you'd have a goldsmith there that would have a little engraved ring. And then you put it around the heron's leg.
Mm-hmm.
So then some herons would have 15 rings from all these people
then
that caught
catch
it, and they
release
them.
But obviously then the heron can't fly because it's weighed down by all these gold rings. So you're catching the same heron over and over again. The poor thing.
Horrible.
And then there's
really
these
is.
tapestries on the walls in the palace of dogs going after deer, after the herons.
Oh my.
Yeah.
It was quite violent.
That's a man's house.
Yeah.
Then we went back to the ship and then had more wine. And then we went to our beer. We did our whole brew pub crawl.
Yes, in Cologne.
Ari, did you even drink anything?
Wine.
She had wine.
Yeah.
She had 1 beer because she had to do the toast.
I tasted one.
So you have to say Prost and then look each other in the eye because that's the way you say cheers in America. But then you have to look each other in the eye to make sure it's well wishes. Otherwise, it's bad luck. It's bad luck.
Yes.
That's what we learned.
Yeah, so we went to 4 different places. The first place we had dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. I thought I never really liked pork. No, I just haven't had it prepared well.
Yeah, I realized because you eat a lot of pork in Germany. At least that's what we did, and I really liked it. I used to think I don't like pork, but I think I just don't like fried up pork chops on a stove. Is really what it is.
So good. And then they also had a coleslaw. But, I hate, American coleslaw. It tasted nothing like that. It was amazing. I think it was, more vinegar-based.
Because they don't put mayo in it. They put all vinegars and stuff.
That's what
it
makes
was really good.
Though. No.
I thought it was, I don't know, Germany has amazing food. And everyone was friendly.
So good. The sausages, amazing.
And then we saw a German Shepherd in Germany. So it was a real German Shepherd.
You saw a shepherd.
We saw a shepherd.
Yes.
Saw a shepherd.
Shaw. So that was great. After the beer crawl, I felt so bad though for the girl. So she was this young, beautiful college student that she was our tour guide.
Mm-hmm.
And in Cologne for the beer tasting, and then we kept losing people. Some people left early, some because they had to go back to the boat because they drank too much. Some people wanted to stay out late. Now our boat was leaving at 11 p.m. and she's like, I have to have you back by 10:15, and they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll get back. She's like, but I'm supposed to bring you back, but they were adults. They didn't want to go back when they were supposed to. And if the boat was going to leave, it's going to leave you.
So at the very last place, we had beer tower.
That was cool.
Yeah. So it was this little setup, and they just put this
a super
yard of cylinder full of beer, and then you just had a little tap to pour it out of.
Oh, and you see, I want to say, see how you don't even see Ari anymore? That's why I turned it that way.
Oh, I know.
It's so annoying,
You
Arianna.
can see her hand moving.
I know. You're supposed to see you. You're doing most of the talking.
I thought we were talking about our trip.
Okay.
So
I'm just talking for our podcast.
That's fine.
For people to see us.
She doesn't want to be seen.
I know.
She wants to be heard.
Oh, she's giving us evil eyes
She's not
now.
talking.
Anyways, so we made it back to the ship and made it. Rob had told us a funny story of where someone got left behind and had to take a train to the next port.
That sounds horrible.
It does
I'd be
sound horrible.
so stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
I would be upset. Actually, we also had to lose someone due to ambulance pickup. Remember that?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
someone like fell or something.
Don't really know what happened.
I don't know, but I guess they made it back eventually a few days later.
In Germany?
Yeah, they were
In the
somewhere.
Krankenwagen? That's the only German word I know, I think.
What's that
That
mean?
means ambulance.
Oh. Arianna and I both were there, and we don't know what that means.
No. Good thing we didn't need one.
Good
All
thing.
right. So the next day we went to Kinderdijk in the Netherlands.
Nederland? That's how you say Netherlands. Nederland.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
Technically, I think we're in the region of Holland.
'Kay.
So we saw windmills, which are beautiful.
I see you got a windmill over there.
Yes. We went in one.
Mhm.
So we learned the difference. So like there's water mills and grain mills.
Mhm.
So the ones with the bigger, whatever they're called, fans or whatever, are
Arms.
water mills.
Yeah, what are they called?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway. Oh, yeah.
Anyways, they're called water mills because 2/3 of the Netherlands is below sea level. So
Yes.
without these, now they have, actual like hydraulics and stuff to pump out the water. 2/3 of the country would be underwater without
Mhm.
this water management. So there's tons of like these like canals and like ditches like throughout the Netherlands. It looks really beautiful, but it's just because they're draining the water out from the soil.
And there's a waiting list to work in these. So
you gotta go to school
gotta
for
go to
2 to 3
school.
years for the
You live there for free, but
windmills.
you have to upkeep. Like you actually have to climb up these windmill things to be attached to
technically,
arms.
you don't even live there for free. You have to pay monthly, but if you turn if the thing turns so many times, they pay you back for.
So you have to have a full-time job plus keep track of this windmill.
Yeah, and there's a waiting list because there's some people that want to live in these windmills.
Yep,
they're really cool.
they're really cool. So
And then but to change the sails, you actually have to climb the arms.
Yes.
And like tie off like the ropes to change them.
You have to like climb out onto the
actual arms of the windmill. You have to climb up
terrifying.
them to change like
it
the
was so
sails,
high.
yeah.
So I don't like heights. So I climbed up. I went up one level, and then there's a third level. I did not do that third level because when I realized when I did the first level,
It's
you have
just
to climb down.
ladders
Like
up.
it's a ladder to climb down. I was like,
I
oh
climbed
no.
up. It's kind of like I definitely couldn't live there if you're clumsy. Like you actually knock into like the whole whatever, like the system. Like your arm would get stuck in like these wheels. Be awful. I
Just
could
be
see
all
dead.
the gears
I could
and
see me
things.
dying in a windmill if I was born in one. Then they told us a story about a man and his wife who had 13 children.
I don't know how they'll fit in that windmill, but okay.
Yeah, so the thing is, as the children got older, they got sent up higher, which I feel like was more dangerous.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turning gears and stuff
We don't have
going
babies
on.
falling down, so I guess
Yeah.
it makes sense. Yeah.
But so a child ran out, and the mother went after it, and the mother got hit by one of the blades.
And it killed her. Yeah.
and it killed her.
No!
Yep.
Yeah, they said 'cause normally what they would do was children.
Like tie rope and stake down the child.
They staked down the child. So that way they didn't come near the.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Oh
if you have
my
to work and make a garden or whatnot, you got to make sure your little kids are not going near the blades.
And then so you have to turn these windmills, like, to catch the wind. So you have to manually, like, crank, like, the chains and everything. Seems like a lot of work.
It does. And then they were hoping that one girl who just graduated really was hoping to get this one specific windmill because her grandmother had lived in that windmill. So
Oh,
that she
so
wanted to
sweet.
take that over.
Some of them were only accessible by boat.
Yes.
Like, can you imagine, Amanda? You want to come over for the day to do some crafting? I'll send out the boat to come get you to bring you to the loud windmill.
No, thank you.
But you got to hear this noise while we're inside.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know how they get Amazon. I bet they have like mailbox, like post office mailbox
sure they
addresses
go and
or
get 'em.
something. Yeah. But yeah, so that was really, really cool. I had no idea that the Netherlands was under sea level. It seems like a bad idea to start living there, actually.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, that's reclaimed land. So it's underwater.
Yeah.
But it, like, everything just looks, because there's so much water, it just looks so beautiful, but
It's a lot of moss.
it's peat moss.
There's a
right?
peat moss, yeah.
What's the difference between like moss and peat moss and any other moss I'm unaware of?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Do I look
But
like
why
a
is it-
geologist or something?
Geologist is
Geologist.
rocks.
Same thing.
Like, is
I'm
this
sure they
witty?
would know.
No,
Would it be a botanist?
I have no
botanist.
idea.
Botanist is
Yes,
plants.
Amanda.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
either way, they have to drain it, and then they can't drain it too much because then it starts sinking
Mhm.
lower. So they have to pump water back in sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, they can't be too low. Like, it's
Yeah.
definitely like, and they're always watching the water levels.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And then, but what's also trendy in the Netherlands are houseboats,
Yeah.
like to live on the canals and things. And all the
Yeah, 'cause
canals are man-made.
They have a housing problem because there's only so much land.
Yeah,
So
they're saying it's
hard
very
to get-
expensive to live there.
Yeah.
Like, it's, well, kind of like here, they're saying it's like 2,000 euros to get like, but I think that 2,000 euros to get like a 1-bedroom apartment. Like, it's very hard. So
Yeah.
like parents are like living with older kids and they aren't just happy. So like if you have like 3 kids in a small house, but now you got 3 adults in a small house, so like, it's just a little crowded.
Right.
I'm like, oh, I would love that.
Anyways,
You hear Aunt Alyssa move back in. You can get your spouse here. We can all be one big happy
I think
family.
Ari
Amanda, can I move in with you?
Yup.
Thank you. Yeah, so then after that was our last full day on the boat. So we went back and we packed, had our final
Mhm.
dinner, which was sad.
It was sad. And I do have to say, I just want to like put this out there. Don't wait until like, oh, I'm well in my retirement to do these activities, because it's so sad. Like, some of these people saved their whole lives and then they couldn't afford, they couldn't, their health wise, they couldn't do the steps and they couldn't do all these things. So then you saved your whole life to go on this trip. And now you're not even seeing what you paid to see that you've been dying to see, because Europe isn't like wheelchair compliant or ramps and things. There's a ton of stairs. And not
Mhm.
everyone could do all those stairs and do all the walking and everything. So I just felt it was really sad. So I'm just going to say, you do it, save your money, but do it as early as you can. Don't put it off. If you want to travel.
Yeah.
Because I felt really bad for a few of the couples that like just,
Yeah,
like
it's
this is their
sad.
one trip to Europe that they'll never go again. And they couldn't do all the excursions that they actually paid for because
Mhm.
they couldn't walk it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I found
It's
that really
sad.
sad.
There was this one son and mother. He was really sweet. He would go on
Yeah.
the free walking tours like without her, and then like find all the places like he knew she would want to go, and then he would take her out.
Yeah, I think she was like
Aw.
90. Like, she was
Yeah.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
yeah, she looked pretty elderly,
Great
but
woman.
yeah, but great son. Then there's this other mother and daughter that the woman was like spoon feeding her dinner and stuff. I'm like, oh, Ari, would you do that for me? She said no. But like, because she was like, you couldn't get around. I'm like, oh, she had trouble eating, so she was like feeding her.
Yeah, I think Ari would just sit there and be like, nah, well, you suffer.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, guess you're not hungry today.
Yep.
You're not trying hard enough.
Yeah. No, it was a lot. So it was touching. I just feel like, and then again, maybe that's the daughter that she finally had enough money to take her mom on this trip that she always wanted to go
Yeah.
on.
Right.
But then now she really can't see anything. So that was it's kind of sad. So do the things. You never know what life will bring.
Yeah. All right. So then the next day we landed in Amsterdam.
Woo, Amsterdam.
So then we got a cab to the hotel.
Yep, we met friends.
We met friends. The very first night, what did we do? Did we go to... Yeah, we went to the Anne Frank house our very first day
Yeah,
there.
we went to the Anne Frank house right
Which
away.
I kind of wasn't that interested in going, but I'm so glad I did. It was like, kind of emotional.
That would have been the only thing I think I'd want to see in Amsterdam.
You wouldn't want to go to Kinderdijk and see the windmills? It was really cool.
Well,
Okay.
that's not Amsterdam.
Well, it's the Netherlands, I guess, yeah.
So, yeah, so we went to the Anne Frank house, so that was really cool. We had
Mhm.
this, like, whole little lesson beforehand, give you the context, like, the history.
Mhm.
Like, a lot about... It's actually very interesting, like, as, like, our friends had pointed out, like, going to Germany, getting their, like, history, and then going
Yes.
there and getting the history. Talking about how, like, Germany was... Like, their pride had been hit after the First World War.
Which I don't feel like I didn't pay attention, learned a lot about the First World War. And that's what really tied into World War II and what really transpired in Germany.
And then they're showing photos of Hitler's, like, propaganda. Like, oh, I'm your last hope. I'm going to make Germany great.
Yep.
And then, so that was really interesting to see. And then how it just, like, going into, like, the Holocaust and all that.
Yeah, it was really good. We paid for like it was a pre-education class, like kind of, And I'm so happy we did because that just made it so much more meaningful because you're like fully getting the history. And then we learned a lot about history while we were in Germany with the tour guides. And I have to say, all the guides were amazing as well that they hired for the ship. And yeah, it was very emotional. Like even the one guy telling us about the history was emotional for me too. But the Anne Frank house, I definitely think everyone should visit. If you're in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, I think it's worth definitely visiting.
Then it was kind of interesting. Like, it made me actually want to reread the Diary of Anne Frank.
You should make your next book pick because I own the book.
Okay. I don't know if everyone will be interested.
Or you want to know what? I'll suggest it.
Do you want to have our own little?
You and I will just read
it. Yeah. So like it went into like her. Like I didn't know they originally lived in Germany. They moved once they heard. I think like the war going on when things started getting into place.
So they went to the Netherlands hoping to make a life anew and good.
He had his own business, which I didn't realize, the father. But then eventually, he couldn't own a business.
So then he had a partner like take over for him.
And he was just running it behind the scenes.
Yep. And then when they knew it got bad, they left word. They didn't even tell the kids. They left word and told everyone left notes
going to Switzerland
but they knew that they couldn't make it to Switzerland. So that's where they hid behind. So like in Germany, you were taxed, or the Netherlands too. You were taxed on the frontage, so you have very narrow houses. But then it didn't matter how deep it was, which is very, I don't know. So, but it's just the way they
would expand onto the back.
So they expand onto the back.
So like the annex, like their attic was actually. It was like 3 levels, like behind the house.
Yes. So I thought when you say attic, I really thought that she was in an attic like ours, like just very cramped, small attic. But it was actually a couple stories of attic.
I mean, it was still small.
And there was a lot of people there. So it wasn't like they had a ton of room.
Right.
But they still had like a little kitchen, like very bare minimum. And then, bedroom. I don't know why they had a man sleeping with.
Yeah, like so
her.
The sister was with the mother and father.
Yeah.
And then she was with the older guy.
Yeah, this older doctor guy. I don't know. It was weird.
But we got to see the real diary.
Yes.
It was displayed there.
And I'm sure in a glass case.
And and we saw the photo of him coming back to the place.
We saw the only video footage that they have of her.
It was during a wedding. It wasn't. She didn't mean to. She was looking out the window, and then she went back in. And it was the last freaking train to Auschwitz. Like the timing, if they didn't get caught, she would be here. Like it sucks. Like makes me so mad.
Well, same with the story we heard in Cologne. It was 8 days before the war officially ended, but everyone knew Germany wasn't winning. But they still, the thing was, if we don't win, there's only death. So they sent out these boys to go fight. They ran, caught a lot of them, and then they hung them.
And then the judges were still in up until recently. So people found out that they were part of the Nazi Party and what they did and what they sent those boys for. So then they had them removed.
Yeah,
obviously.
It was interesting because our one tour guide in Germany, he was like, it was different because after the war, everything was destroyed. So it's mostly going back and rebuilding and then ignoring everything
no one
that
wanted
happened.
To talk about it.
So it was until the later generations it started getting brought up. But it led to, I think, their version of the Constitution, where legally it's the law that every child has to go on field trips.
Yep.
So they go to the Anne Frank house or a concentration camp to really learn about the history.
Because they never want to repeat that history ever again. They feel it's very important. And I feel like, for when you guys were in history, I feel like we glossed over World War I and II. I think we spent so much time about the Chinese and the Chinese dynasties. I feel like we spent way more time on that than we did on the actual world wars.
I think we did a lot on World War II.
Correct.
But one, I always forget. I don't even remember.
We talked more about World War II in school because of the U.S.'s involvement was more in 2 than in 1, even though we came in, late to the party. But
because World War I is so important of why, because why Germany did what happened, the way things happened, and then why everyone, because they changed the currency, so people had money, and then money was no longer any good. That's how people were going broke. It was just really a good time for Hitler to move in, and then they blamed Jewish people for their problems. So just terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it was interesting to hear when it first started, they were taking like Jewish people in the middle of the night and putting them on those trains. And then towards the end, they didn't care. They're just grabbing them during the day.
Yeah.
And how well documented everything was. 'Cause
They're very well documented.
There
like,
was
record
there was like
keepers.
records in the Anne Frank house showing like the names of the people.
Yep. But they wanted you to go at night because they didn't want the public to see children going off at nighttime.
Yep.
During the day.
Yep.
So if you do it at nighttime, no one's watching. Yeah, it was so a very educational trip. We learned a lot about history, and I don't know. I think I'm still processing it all. Like I want to look through all my photos again. The memories will come back as I'm re-looking through the photos. But I think overall it was a really good, very educational experience as well as a vacation.
All right, so the next day after the Anne Frank house, we went to Kinderdijk, which is like tulip flower farm.
No, Kuchenhof.
Kuchenhof.
Yes. Go to the Kuchenhof. So if you watch Fault in Our Stars, you'll know about the Kuchenhof and the whole tulip festivals and the tulips. And oh my gosh, I have so many photos of
just
flowers.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
We spent hours there.
I didn't even realize how long we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were there for hours.
Beautiful. Just looking at different flowers.
We were in the Anne Frank house for hours too because we were
we didn't
shocked.
even notice that either.
Yeah.
How much time had passed.
Yeah. And then
after
Kuchenhof.
The Kuchenhof. And then we went to Haarlem.
Yep.
Which was like more picturesque, less city-like.
Yes, I love
version.
Haarlem. I like that part of Amsterdam.
In the town square, they were having some kind of like craft sale.
Yes.
It was just a bunch of fabrics for sale and patterns and like homemade shirts and dresses.
Oh, and then they do
really cool.
seating, like stadium seating. Everyone's facing the same way in all the tables.
Yeah, they're all looking towards the center, like of the activity. Yeah.
Okay.
It was interesting. Then we sat down, had lunch there, had bitterballen, which I like.
Bitterballen is really good.
What is
It's like a veal mush inside of a ball. It was good. I think you'd like it.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
We also, though, back in Kinderdijk, we did see cheese making, too.
Oh, yeah, we saw cheese making in Kinderdijk.
Are you okay?
And cows.
No!
What's wrong?
Misa's in my leg.
Remove her.
Remove her. Remove her claw. She's probably going to dig in more. Oh, the cat's got her. She's laying on her
Honey,
claw.
I love you, but
She's so
God,
cute.
That was so painful.
She's like, oh, you're supposed to use a blanket when I have me on me.
Yeah, well, you came up here without me telling you to. It's fine.
Aw.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah, we did see cheese making.
Yes.
Oh, with the
baby cows.
with the big balls of cheese, and they scrape the top, and the
Yep, and then
don't they like flame the top, and then like
No, we didn't see that.
No, we didn't see that.
That's cheese eating.
That's
Amanda.
cheese eating.
Sorry, I don't know.
They dump the milk in. They do things to it.
They add cultures.
They stir and slice it, and then they brine it. We saw like about probably a couple
100 reels of cheese.
Reels of cheese. We saw them doing like the coating on top.
Yep. It was really cool. She
Yeah.
looks annoyed with you.
She's
And
scaring me.
she's giving you the mojo ears.
Yep. Then we had a good dinner after we went to Haarlem.
Yep, Haarlem was nice. And that's why in New York City it was actually named Haarlem.
Yeah.
It's after this place here from the Netherlands, which I didn't realize.
Yep. We used public transportation.
Oh my gosh, I do not like real public transportation, at least in the Netherlands. I loved it in Basel.
I'm sure that's how it is in like New York City too. Like
Yes.
So like they were holding open the doors for us, and like I got shoved in so to make sure I was on the train.
Yeah, our friends was
People pulling
they're like,
you.
Shannon,
Yeah.
you need to shove in because people are like stuck there, like you have to push.
me in.
Yeah,
She's like, stuck in the door.
People.
like you're touching people, you're on top of people.
Oh, I'm sure
Then
you
I'm like, oh
love
my god,
that.
it's hot. I go, is there no air conditioning in here? There's not, so it's just warm in there.
Yeah, and so I'm glad when we did, and not like when
In
it
the
got too
summer,
hot.
yeah, that'd be awful.
Yeah, and then so the next day we went to where did we go? We went around the city.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to go to the Van Gogh Museum. It was sold out, so we could not go in.
couldn't go in.
Unfortunately, but then a couple blocks away from the Van Gogh Museum was a building I had looked at in school, architecture school. So it was cool to see that in person. It was like glass blocks that fade into like brick, and it was really cool to see. And then we went to the Heineken Museum because I didn't know that Heineken was made.
I didn't know that was made in the Netherlands at all. Yeah. So we had to make our own beer, learn how it was all made, saw the big caskets.
I didn't drink any, but I didn't think because this entire time I haven't been carded because, the drinking age is 18.
Right.
I didn't have my ID on me and they're like, where's your ID? I'm like, then I was like, I have a photo, but my phone, because it was in the cloud, isn't loading.
Right.
So it was this whole thing. They finally let me in. They're like, when were you born? Like 2001. Like,
Right.
I'm well above the drinking limit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was so annoying. And I'm like, I don't like beer. I'm not even going to drink any of it.
Yeah.
Which I didn't drink any of it either.
You did not think out of principle at that point. Harry's mad.
I don't think you would have liked it anyway.
No, I wouldn't have liked it.
I like the Heineken.
But it was cool, like, being, like, in, like, the, what are they called? We have them here.
The tanks? The big
what are they called? Silos.
Silos, yes.
It was cool being in that. Then they had a really cool bar at the end that was in, like, one of the vaults where they used to store it.
Yeah. Oh, and then we got to pour our own Heineken the proper way.
I failed. I got a lot of foam.
You had a ton of foam.
Yeah.
How to tilt your glass.
How to tilt it.
See, mine was good, but not perfect. One of our friends had it perfect. But, like, I had it, like, I pulled it too far down. Like, it had to be up higher. What's she doing?
She's getting comfy. She's so cute.
Well, apparently Love is Pain with Miso.
Mm-hmm.
She's on Maisie. Or she's on Amanda.
So then after the Heineken Museum, we went to the red light district.
That was interesting.
Prostitution is legal.
Yes.
And so they have the red lights. So if the red lights are on, that means like there's women working. And in the windows or by the doors, they're on display for you to choose.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Nice.
One of them opened the door for one of our friends.
Yes.
Okay.
He ran.
I would have been very scared.
Not to the door.
I was just surprised at like how many places there were.
And we weren't even there during the hopping time.
Yeah,
it
we're
was
there
like
at 5 o'clock.
5 p.m. Like it was not.
So like it's just getting started.
Yeah. Like, how do you choose? I don't know. Like, wouldn't you feel weird, like, going in? So I would like to go in. I would have liked to pay for an hour and just ask a bunch of questions, like how they got into it, what made them choose that for their business.
Yeah, I don't think that they would reciprocate that. They'd be like, okay, nope, if you're
I would like
here.
to interview them because, like, supposedly, like, it's legal. They're not human trafficked, right? Like, these are adults making adult decisions. So I just want to know how they got to that. Is it lucrative? How many, like, people do you have to, how many customers do you need a night, like, to make it lucrative?
I don't know.
Do you, like...
It's tax regulated and something about they keep up, like, on the health or whatever.
Yeah, they're screened every month.
Yeah.
But
so they don't die of diseases.
Right. But I don't know. Like, I just have so many questions, like, why you choose that as your profession. Like,
it's just like any other profession.
It's reliable.
That's true.
People always want it.
Yeah.
I guess supply and demand.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So I was shocked at how many there were, actually.
You go down this little alley and they're just like right up next to the...
Yeah. They're literally like, you're 2 inches away. Like, so it's like a big, like that window is a person sitting there in her lingerie.
Or standing.
Or like beckoning you to come hither.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an experience.
Jasper's being very loud.
Do you have any questions for us, Amanda?
Well, I don't think so.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. I didn't realize you guys went to so many places and more than one in one day. I didn't even know you guys were going to be on a boat for most of the time. I was like, oh, they're just going to like go to a place and then like take a car and then like drop them, like take like a bus thing like through. And I was like, oh, no, I guess the boat thing makes a little bit more sense. And it's more of like a whole experience.
Well, actually, it's almost half and half. So we had 6 days off boat, right? Like the pre and post excursions. And then 7 days. Saturday to Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like having the boat, you're not packing up your luggage all the time, going from place to place.
Right.
I like how it's small. Like, but now that I did this river cruise, I highly, not a sponsor, use Viking. I think they're freaking amazing. But like, I don't think now I could do like a Norwegian or a Carnival cruise because I don't think like this is so much smaller and intimate. I don't think I could handle like
A
this giant.
ginormous-
Yeah.
Right.
Plus, there's no like little kids running around. I mean, I love kids, but I tend to love the kids that I know. I don't want to see like 100 kids running all around
Yeah, it's
screaming.
18 or older.
Yeah.
For the
Well, yeah.
Viking.
Like, I don't consider that a vacation. But
Don't.
if you have kids, that's your vacation because then the kids are playing and whatever. But I don't have little kids, so that doesn't sound fun to me.
Yeah, no. Not at all.
And plus, even their ocean cruises lines, they're smaller. They're less than 1,000 people per ship versus most of them are 3,000 or more.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. It doesn't even I feel like it doesn't feel like you're even on a boat at that point. You're like on a floating island.
Yeah, pretty much. Though I did so we had our room attendant. She would literally come in twice a day. She would leave us treats the second time during the day.
Aw, like what?
Like little specialty
Like
cookies or
yeah.
fruit or
Aw,
yeah.
that's so cute. Did she fold your towels in cute shapes?
She would.
Not in cute shapes. She'd fold the towels, but she would actually fold our pajamas that we put underneath our pillows.
Yeah.
So then we started hiding the pajamas because we only had 2 sets. I'm like, well, now they're getting kind of dirty. I don't want her touching my dirty laundry. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I
hide
had
it.
brought a blanket and I would have it like underneath the comforter and she'd like take it out and fold it. So I started like taking it out and folding it before she would refold it, of course, better. But
Yeah.
Aw, that's
She
so
was.
nice.
We made sure we
Yeah.
gave her a good tip. She was so nice.
Just one time I left my toothbrush out, she put it back into
Yeah.
the cup. One time I left my makeup out, she put it over where her makeup was.
Aw.
It was actually really nice.
It was very nice.
Like literally, the room was always clean. And then whenever she comes in, she'd open up like both of our those balcony doors, so that way we had fresh air in the room
Oh,
and
that's
clean
really
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then our bathroom had heated floors, and then the mirror was anti-fog, so that was also
So
really
nice.
nice.
I want that in my bathroom.
I just don't know. It's hard coming back to real life. Like no one's doing anything. I have all this laundry on the floor.
No one's
all
making
this
me
dog
food,
hair.
No
Yeah.
one's bringing me drinks. No
I
one's
know.
folding my clothes.
I'm bullying him.
Because he's being annoying.
Jasper's being loud, but you're not going to hear him on here at all.
Like
He's
so
tantruming.
unfortunate.
He is tantruming. He's just complaining.
But yeah, that was our trip. It was a great time.
It was a great time. We're already thinking of planning another one.
Yep, we're going to do Italy, Greece.
Yep. It's just hard picking one because we have to choose really what we want to see. Because you can't do all of Italy and you can't do all of Greece.
They're separate. Cool, because it'd be really long.
We're never coming back. We're gone a month.
Yeah.
I can't afford a month vacation.
No.
No. Plus, I don't think my job would appreciate that or yours.
No, not at all.
And no way Amanda's watching Jasper for a month.
No, he'd have to go in the
Boarding.
K word in the
Kennel. Yeah. Yeah. So,
He could go to the doggy spa with Zuzu
and Alice.
Yeah, except he couldn't be boarded with Zuzu.
or Alice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be very, very expensive.
Yeah. See, I think Alice would have felt more comfortable with Jasper with her because she was very depressed the whole time. She wasn't eating. The only thing she was eating was her treats from home.
But what if, let's hypothetically say, obviously, Jasper and I have this,
Yeah.
bond, right?
Yeah.
I see you over there. What if I took Alice instead? Because she'll kind of just,
Well, next
Meh.
time, if you want to try that out, we can.
Yep.
okay, start planning your trip.
Yep.
Alice, I think, would be
She'd be like, oh, this is my home now.
Mhm.
lower maintenance.
Alice is very low
She
maintenance. She just wants to
The only thing she
snuggle.
would want to be on
No.
your bed and
No, no,
snuggle.
No, 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 no,
No.
Alice, no. We weren't calling you.
Bye-bye.
Stop. Well, yeah, we'll figure it out for the next time. I know Jasper was a
Amanda
lot
might
for
have
you.
little children the next time.
I
That's
know.
okay. I think Alice, actually,
Jasper would probably
would
be best
the
with small children.
Yeah, for small ones.
It's okay. I use Jasper as a pillow half the time, so.
Mr. Floofy. But yeah, so we'll figure it out. Next time we'd like to go to Italy and Greece.
Yep.
Hard to travel. My mom actually said that you shouldn't travel with Jasper being so old. But I don't know. It's just for a week or two.
Well, Zuko will be 7 then. And I mean, I really trust the place. I think he's
Mhm.
was taken care of well.
Mhm.
I think was taking, he had his own bed and they're low to the ground, so not even a lot of jumping.
Yeah. I mean, Jasper's 9 now. He's just high maintenance. He's just a brat.
Yes.
He'd get
With
used to
his
it
old
eventually.
age, he does not learn new things.
No.
Mm-mm.
So it makes it hard. So-
man.
We'll find. I do know, like, Christina likes someone through Rover, so if you did take Alice, then Jasper could maybe go to that instead of a kennel.
I'll just take him.
Well, we'll decide then. You can choose when the time
We'll
comes.
see what's happening
I'll
with your
just
life
take
then.
both.
Think that'd be a lot.
Good.
Jasper well, at that time, I won't be in the apartment anymore.
Okay.
So Jasper can stay in the house, and Allie can come to the farm with me.
There we
That'd
go.
be cute.
And we'd take baths every day.
Yeah, that would be cute.
Yeah, you run around the cows. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good girl. Well, and she would actually go in a crate where Jasper doesn't go in crates because all he does is bark when he's in a crate. Where, like, if
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm going to leave and she's adjusting, you could actually put her, you give her a treat, she'll go in a crate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where Jasper,
Absolutely not. I
Yeah.
really thought about dragging Alice's crate out
did you?
and bringing it for him because he was being such a naughty boy eating all my people food.
Yeah, eating your trail mix.
Did you realize how much food you have in reach of the dog?
Yeah.
I literally, it was in a zippered purse. I don't know how he got into
Make
the
it
zipper.
unzipper. She's
don't-
done it in my backpack to
She
get cough
unzipper-
drops.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he tore into it like a squirrel. I was very upset.
I don't blame. Plus, then it's like your food that you were eating. You're like, come on, man.
And all the powder was all over my, like, Sherpa stuff, so I had to, like, take the vacuum and do the attachment, and it was the whole thing.
I'm so sorry. I
So
do.
sad.
I appreciate you, Amanda, for taking on Jasper.
I feel appreciated, so it's okay.
Next time you
Okay.
can try Alice.
She'll probably do the same thing. I'll probably not realize.
Oh, she's
that
a
bunch-
food person. Yeah.
And she can, like,
Food
reach
dog
stuff. Like,
person.
he
Yeah.
can't jump up on things to
Mhm.
reach things.
Yeah, he's actually handicapped, where she is not. He's got a broken legs.
My counters are low. She would be able to reach my counters.
Oh, and she does steal.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason, Ari always leaves, like, if I make her a breakfast sandwich, she
Oh.
leaves it on the edge of the
Yep,
counter, the
yep,
very
yep, yep.
edge.
And then
So if you're not watching, Alice will steal it.
it's okay. You probably deserve it.
Probably. Maybe. So that's it, my friends. Next week, we'll read Reddit stories and have it all. I just thought we would unpack our vacation for everyone since we were gone. And we're happy to be back. And we'll share some photos on the Instagram. And where can they find our Reddits, Ari?
I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
She was
I
like,
don't remember.
Sorry, we're restraining a dog over here.
That's why Alice, no, you gotta stay down. Okay. So you guys have a great week and be kind.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.